this particular issue is can be tricky at times because at times due to the memory exhausted issue you can see two errors. First, you can see like memory error. Second, you can see error establishing a database connection, because once our memory is too low to work, our PHP cannot connect to MySQL properly. Hence, as our connectors are already failing to connect to database, and as our memory has already been low to a huge extent, so then we also face error establishing a database connection due to memory. So in this video, we will be fixing this particular issue if it arises due to memory. All right, let's jump into the fix. Okay, so how to fix it? We have to simply make sure if this is coming from the memory, because by now we have tried all our previous four methods and none of them work for us. Now it's time to move into the core file of the PHP site to see if that works for us. All right, now I am going inside my XAMPP folder because I am working on localhost and using XAMPP as my server. You can be on your any of the hosts like Bluehost, Hostinger, or whatever. The main purpose is you have to go to your PHP folder, and under that folder you have to find your configuration files for PHP, which is usually called as php.ini file. All right, if you are not sure where that file is located on your server, you can check on Google based on your server. Like you can check how to find php.ini file on Bluehost, or how to find php.ini file on Hostinger or GoDaddy. All right, so based on that search you can find your file like I am finding on my local host. Next step is to check for the memory limit. So I am simply pressing Control plus F on Windows. So in your case, you can use your search method based on your operating system. Like on a MacBook, it can be Shift plus F or whatever. Like I am just searching for memory underscore LIMIT. All right, so it is a spell mistake. Now if I go and I am checking, that's the reason my memory is obviously set too low, because it is set as 1 MB at the moment. Now I have increased that limit to 512 MBs or megabytes, and which is equal to half of a GB. All right, once I have saved it, now tricky thing is, because this was the reason due to memory low memory, our MySQL was not even starting. So once we have made this change inside our memory underscore limit method, limit variable, and then parameter, sorry, then we have to simply make sure we have to stop our Apache and our MySQL. Obviously our MySQL will not be working, that's why we are seeing that issue. Once done, then we have to simply restart our Apache and our MySQL. So we have to see if that works for us or not, because it can take some time to properly fetch those. All right, it looks like it is working now, so I can simply go back and try to refresh my website and see if that works for us. All right, perfect. So it indeed worked, and the reason was due to memory. So far, we have been through different fixes to find out exact issue and to fix a very common WordPress issue, which is error establishing a database connection. So what was the fixes we have tried so far? First, we tried by fixing our database establishment connection by fixing the WP config parameters of our database. Then in the next video, we fixed our issue by updating and verifying our local host or our host of MySQL server. And if that is not running, we have to make sure it is running. And then in the third video, we also checked like if our database is having some sort of a corruption, because once we migrate from one server to other, or once we are importing data from our backups, it can also lead to some sort of a issues. Then we also checked based on the memory in this particular video, as you have seen. All right, and apart from it, we have been through the host error as well, because at times if we go to our wp-config.php file, we are using a wrong host URL or path. All right, so we have to check all these steps to be certain that our connection is having correct credentials, correct host URL are passed to the hosting MySQL database, and obviously enough memory to connect properly for the website. All right. I hope you enjoyed the series and see you in the next video with another trick or fix for the WordPress sites. If you are liking our work, please don't hesitate to subscribe and like our work. And also, if you want to start your WordPress plugin development as an your hobby or as an your next phase in your employment, you can check our series on WordPress plugin development from scratch. For that, you can visit our channel page on YouTube, or you can check our website www.wpthrill.com. All right, see you in the next video. Until then, have a nice time. Bye bye.